Yes, sir. Clear.
Yesterday, we discussed about the standalone administration, whatever the topics we are going to discuss. Today, networking topics, which we are going to discuss in Linux administration. Briefly, I will explain you. So, this is Linux administration networking part. So, configuration of Linux operating system in the network. So, it means how to give the host name to the Linux OS, how to give the IP address to the Linux OS, how to permanent them. So, we are going to discuss here. So, in Windows, we can change the computer name like here, my computer. Go to properties. Here you can change the settings. Here you can change the computer name. Like in Linux, how to change the computer name, how to assign the computer name permanently, how to assign the IP address, how to assign the default gateway to the Linux operating system. So we are going to discuss in that class. So that is important entry point of view. They will ask the question. Configuration of Linux operating system in the network. Next, how to configure telnet server in Linux. For example, servers are Linux, clients are Windows. So from Windows, I want to log into the Linux server. So how to log into the Linux server from Windows or Linux to Linux? So we are going to configure the telnet server on Linux administration server. One server you can take, you can configure the telnet server. So by using telnet from client side, so you can log into Linux server, you can work on the Linux server. So how to set up Linux as a telnet server, we are going to discuss in that class. Next, SSH and SCP. So SSH is a secure shell. So telnet is not a secured connection. That is the reason we are going to configure SSH. So by using SSH, we can log into the Linux system. But Windows will not support SSH. That is the reason we are going to download the putty software, third-party software. Here we can select SSH. Here you can give the IP address of Linux server. Then you can log into the Linux system. So like that, how to set up SSH server on Windows, sorry, Linux. So how to copy the data from one server to another server. So to copy the data from one server to another server, we have to set up SCP, secure copy, copying the data from one system to another system. So Windows will not support SCP. That is the reason we are going to download a third-party software, WinSCP. So to copy the data from Windows system to Linux servers. So Linux to Linux or any other Unix flavors, we can use SCP, secure copy. So by using the SCP command, we can copy the data from one server to another server. Next, FTP, file transfer protocol. How to download the files and how to upload the files. Generally, every day we are going to access internet. We are downloading the songs or movies or documents. So that is nothing but a FTP server. Like in Linux, how to set up FTP server, we are going to discuss here. Configuration of FTP server. This is a file server. So you can upload the files from client to server and you can download the files from server to client. FTP, file transfer protocol. So next, NFS is also a file server, network file system. sharing the files from Linux environment, it is a online file server. So NFS is online file server. FTP is offline file server. So FTP means we can download the files, we can upload the files. But NFS is online. So online you can share the files across the network. Ramesh, do you want to tell me any issue?
No, actually, I'm very new to this application.
Okay, we
Just
are
a minute.
just we are yeah, we are just we are going to discuss what we are going to discuss in Linux. Okay, this is NFS server we are going to set up on Linux. Sharing the resources in Windows, how the data will share? So you are right click on the folder, you are sharing the data. Like in Linux, how to share the data across the LAN, we are going to discuss in NFS server. This is a online file server. So FTP is also a file server, it is offline. NFS is online. So FTP, every day you can see, you can from your mobile also, you are downloading the apps, you are installing the apps. From where you are downloading means that is nothing but a FTP server. So FTP is a file server, it is offline. NFS is a file server, it is online file server. Next, we are going to set up Samba server. So Samba Samba is a file server to share the data from Linux server to Windows clients. So server is Linux, clients are Windows. So I want to install MS Office software on all 100 Windows clients, but Linux will not support MS Office. So how to share the data? So you can configure Samba server on Linux. You can share the data from Linux to Windows clients, because in production environment, real-time environment, we can have servers are Linux, clients are Windows. So how to share the data? They will ask the question. So we can set up the Samba server on Linux. We can share the data from Linux server to Windows clients. Next, domain name service. So DNS. So DNS is a name resolution server. So it resolves names to addresses and addresses to names. So generally we can remember the systems and websites with the names only. We cannot remember with the IP addresses, but by using names we can easily remember. But all the websites and systems, they can communicate with IP addresses. But how to resolve name to IP address and IP address to names, we are going to discuss in DNS domain name service. So here you can check, go to your Windows prompt after connecting your internet. For example, I don't know the IP address of Flipkart or google.com, gmail.com. So if you give the command ns lookup, so now go to command prompt in your Windows system, give the command ns lookup. Now type www.gmail.com. It shows the IP address. So what is the IP address? 172.217.163.197. www.flipkart.com, for example. See, we can remember the sites with names, we cannot remember with the numbers, but it shows the IP address of Flipkart 163.53.78.110. Like this, in real times when we are going to work, So we cannot remember the systems with IP addresses. That is the reason we are going to configure the DNS server in the network, domain name service. DNS provides the name resolution, so it resolves names to addresses and addresses to names. Next, Apache web server. So Apache is a web server to configure the websites in the system. So whatever the websites we are going to use, how to configure that websites, we can have different types of websites like IP based websites, name based websites, single IP multiple websites, single IP single website, dedicated website, and port based websites. Like how to set up websites in the Linux, we are going to use Apache web server. So in Windows, that is IIS, Internet Information Service in Windows to configure the websites. So in Linux, Apache is the web server to configure the websites in Linux environment. Next to NIS, naming information. This is for centralization of administration. So centralization of administration example is, nowadays you can take the our bank accounts. So I can have a ICICI bank account in Amirpet branch. Across the India, I can go to any ICICI branch, I can deposit the money. And also you can go to any ATM counter, you can withdraw the money. This is because of centralization of administration. Like in NIS, in Linux environment, NIS naming information service is the centralization of administration. So how to set up Linux server as a NIS server, we are going to discuss in this class. Next to DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. So DHCP will assign the IP addresses automatically to the clients. So you can check your mobile, you can have an IP address. Every mobile has IP address. So automatically your internet provider will configure the DHCP server. So depending upon the area where you are moving, automatically it will assign the IP address to your mobile. That is the reason we are connecting to the internet. So how to configure the DHCP server? We are going to discuss in Linux. So DHCP server you can set up on any Windows servers, Linux servers, but how to set up the Linux server in DHCP server in Linux, we are going to discuss here. So DHCP server will assign IP addresses automatically to the clients, because as a Linux administrator, for example, in your company, you can have 500 systems. So you cannot go for each and every system, you cannot assign IP address manually. So you can set up one server as a DHCP server. Automatically it will assign the IP addresses. That is the concept we are going to discuss. Next, Linux Kickstart server. So maybe your company is getting new project, that project require 50 Linux systems. So they have to install within 2 hours or 3 hours. So generally 50 Linux operating systems installation means every day 4 or 5 systems you can go for 1 week or 10 days time, but they will give only 3 hours time to install the 50 Linux operating systems at a time. So in that scenarios, you are going to configure the Linux Kickstart server. Through network, we can install the Linux operating system. That is nothing but a Linux Kickstart server. So in Windows, it is a WDS, Windows Deployment Services. Linux Kickstart server. This is nothing but a network installation. How to install the Linux operating system through network. See, at a time, number of Linux operating systems you can install. So these are the networking topics we are going to discuss in Linux. Here you can see these are the standalone administration tasks we are going to discuss. Installation of Linux, disk management, booting process, run levels, group management, user management, user quotas, swap management, process management, package management. So online package management, logical volume manager, RAID levels, backup and restore. These are the standalone topics. So 80% of the entry questions they will ask from this standalone. Then we are going to enter into the networking, what we discussed today, Linux networking concepts. Next, what is file system? What are the different types of file systems? I will explain you, because every operating system depends on the file systems only.
Sir, I have one small doubt.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, once we enter into the organization, and which part we are working, standalone or networking part?
Depending upon the designation they given.
Okay.
So we are not going to work on all parts. Even standalone also, you are not going to work on all areas. For example,
Okay.
they will give maybe disk management. So your work is only managing the disks every day. So some people, they will give user management. So their work is only user management, because they are not going to give all the tasks only one person. They will divide the tasks. So
Okay.
somebody, they will work on disk management, somebody they will work on user management, somebody they will work on swap management, some but they will work on the monitoring, some team they will work on the backup and restore, like that. So overall interview point of view only, we are going to learn all the topics. Once you join in a company, they will allocate you the tasks. Which task you are going to work, they will give the designation. You are a disk management, you are going to manage the disks in the company. So
Okay,
every
sir.
day same work will come. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Next, so generally we have to learn what is file system. So what is file system means, for example, what is operating system? Operating system is nothing but a collection of software programs. These operating systems are depends on file systems only. So whenever you are going to install the operating system, generally we are talking, I formatted my laptop. You formatted. In which file system you formatted? Generally nobody knows. Somebody they know who has having some IT knowledge. So formatting means whatever the space you selected on the disk. So you are creating a some particular table, that is nothing but a file system. So a file system is a collection of files and directories stored in a defined format on the disk. So a file system is a collection of files and directories stored in a defined format. So every operating system has its own file system. So already showed you yesterday. So Windows file system, for example, I am telling you, go to my computer, right click on the drive, click on properties. Now you can know file system. So Windows NTFS file system. Like every operating system has a own file system. So these are disk-based file systems because we formatted. C drive we formatted, D drive we formatted, E drive we formatted. These are disk-based. Now file systems are three types: disk-based file systems, network-based file systems, virtual or memory-based file systems. So every operating system works depend on this file system only. Even our laptops also, every day we are working with these file systems directly or indirectly. So disk-based, network-based, virtual or memory-based file systems. Here you can go to the task manager. Here you can uh, see all the tasks are running background. Memory is utilizing. So these are memory-based. So like that, we have different types of file systems. Every operating system works depends on these three file systems only: disk based, network based, virtual or memory based. So examples of disk based file systems: these file systems are used by disks. Disks means hard disks, CDs, DVDs, USB drives. These are the disk based. Example: FAT. This is very old file system. File allocation table. It is used by Windows old versions like Windows 95, 98, Windows Me, Windows XP. So nowadays, whatever the Windows clients are there, we are using NTFS only. But these are the oldest file systems. Next, they released the new version of the file system, that is NTFS, new technology file system. It is used by Windows servers and latest versions of Windows clients. Just now we seen this is Windows 8. So file system type is NTFS. Like NTFS is the Windows operating system file systems nowadays we are using. Next, ext2, ext3, ext4, XFS. These file systems are used by Linux OS. So ext2 is the old version. Now ext3 next version, ext4, XFS. Now we are using ext4 and XFS. So depending upon the requirement of how much database, how much use partitions we required, depending upon that, we can select either ext4 or XFS. Next to UFS Unix file system, it is used by Solaris operating system. So we have a Solaris OS before 2010, it is very popular. That file system, the Solaris operating system file system is UFS. So already I told you, you are not going to work only as a Linux administrator. Sometimes you can log into the Solaris servers, maybe whatever the work, whatever the company you joined. So still Solaris servers are going on, and IBM AX Unix, these servers also going on. So as a Linux administrator, you can work on any other Unix flavors also. So Solaris operating system file system is Unix file system. IBM AX operating system, this file system is journal file system. HP Unix operating system, that file system is high performance file system. So these are disk based. Every operating system has its own file system. Like how every state has its own language, like that same every operating system has its own language, that is nothing but a file system. So VXFS, this is a Veritas file system used by Veritas Volume Manager software. This is a third-party software managing the huge disks. So this software will support all operating systems. Next to UDFS, Universal Disk Format File System, using by DVD-ROMs. So we have the DVD-ROMs nowadays. So the DVD-ROM file system is UDFS, Universal Disk Format File System. So these all are disk-based file systems. Next, come into the network-based file systems. So these file systems are used by networks. For example, I am working with Windows servers. I want to share the data across the LAN to all the clients. Then we have to configure a network-based file system, that is distributed file system. It is used by Windows servers for sharing the data across the network. So this is network-based. In Windows, we are calling as a DFS. NFS, network file system. It is used by Unix or Linux operating systems for sharing the data across the network. For example, you are working as a Linux administrator. So you want to share the data. You want to share some software. So you have to configure NFS server. So how to set up that NFS server? That NFS server use the file system, network file system NFS. Next, CIFS, CAFS, Common Internet File System. It is used by Unix or Linux operating systems for sharing the resources to Windows clients. Already previously we discussed Samba server for sharing the resources to Windows clients from Linux. So the Samba server will use the file system CAFS, CIFS, Common Internet File System, and also this file system is used by NAS, Network Attached Storage. There is a storage concept, SAN, DAS, NAS, SAN. NAS will use the file system CAFS. So remember this point. Next, virtual or memory based file systems. These file systems are used by memory. Virtual memory, it is used by Windows to improve the performance of applications. So while installing Windows servers, you can check your hard disk size. For example, if you have a 500 GB disk, so it will not show you complete 500 GB. It will show you some 49,000 something or 48,000 some MB. So remaining space, it will use for virtual memory. So virtual memory is nothing but some of the disk space it will use as a memory. So physical memory is nothing but a RAM. Virtual memory from our hard disk, some space it will use as a memory. That is nothing but a virtual memory. In Windows we are calling that same memory. In Linux environment we are calling as a swap memory. Swap is like a virtual memory. Windows technically we are using virtual memory. In Linux Unix environment we are using as a swap memory. It is used by Linux as a temporary memory to improve the performance of the applications. Next, TempFS. It is used by Windows or Linux for improving the access of resources. For example, when I open video, for example, I am opening some video, Windows Media Player. So this video is playing, for example. So whenever this video is playing, the background temporary file systems will work. So you can go to run command, type percentage temp percentage, you can check temporary files. See, so many temporary files will run. I am deleting every day. So here VMware is opened. So all the temporary files will change. Whatever the work we are doing, whenever you are accessing internet, whenever you are playing the games, you are watching the movies. So in your mobiles also, some temporary files will generate. We have to check in settings. You have to remove that every 2 months or 3 months. So you can free up your memory. Like background temporary file systems will run. So next, cache IFS. Cache IFS, it is used by Windows or Linux to improve the performance of servers. So in real times, whenever regularly are communicating the particular for example, every day I'm opening Gmail account. For example, every day I'm opening Gmail account. Automatically, some cache information stores in my computer. So every day it will not going to directly give the request to Gmail server. Whatever I am working every day, here it will keep my information in my computer. It will communicate. Like whenever you are accessing websites, frequently used websites, frequently used videos, automatically it will keep locally some cache information. So background cache file systems will work. So these file systems also depends on memory only. See, every operating system works depends on these file systems only. Then now we can understand the operating systems. What is C drive? What is D drive? What is E drive? In Linux, what is the operating system directory? In Windows, operating system directory. Like in Windows, D drive, E drive, F drive. How in Linux the partitions will come? Those things tomorrow's class we are going to discuss. So if you have any doubts, please ask me. Any
Are
doubts,
you
Shiva?
providing any, sir,
Yeah,
Windows admin also? Are you providing any Windows
yeah,
basics?
yeah.
Windows
I
admin
am
basics.
taking Windows Server administration is different. While teaching Linux, we are going to. I am going to
Okay.
combine. Combine means
Okay.
I am going to differentiate you. Then you can easily
Okay.
understand every concept.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Every
sir, this is sir. Sir, is there any evening batches available? Because I have to move to my office.
okay. Evening batch now. One
Or
batch
in the
is
near
going.
future,
It will start. Evening will start. No problem.
okay, like
I have
after
already.
5 or 6, 7.
Yeah. Generally, we have batch 6 o'clock. Linux is going to be complete today. Tomorrow onwards, that time AWS is starting. 7 o'clock
Okay.
MCS is going on. Maybe after 6 we are going to start one
Yeah.
batch in near future.
Okay. Okay, fine, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there any doubts, Mr. Uday Kiran? Mr. Ramesh?
Do you provide any recordings, sir?
Yeah, everyday records will send. Every day, whatever the classes are going on, recording will come.
This is the first demo class, sir, or yesterday happened?
Yesterday also same demo class. Yesterday also.
Okay.
Tomorrow onwards, regular class will start. So first 1 week we are going to discuss about basic commands of Linux. Then we are going to start the administration.
Any networking batches are going?
Networking already all batches are completed.
Okay.
6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. You want to attend parallelly?
Yes, yes, sir.
Standalone and networking. So I will tell you. First we will start here. If there is any,
Okay.
I will tell you. Then you can go to
Okay, sir.
parallel.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you all. Tomorrow we'll
Thank you.
connect. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.